Good morning. This flow that you're about to do, I taught live on Instagram like 3 days ago, and so I'm just opening up for you now. It's going to be a flow that helps with accessibility to the stand-up challenge. So if you tried the stand-up challenge and you were unsuccessful, then try this flow and maybe try it again and see if you're successful. So enjoy. Let's get ready to go. Let's jump on the mat. And making sure you can still see me. Beautiful. So we're going to start off in a child's pose on the mat. So toes together in the back, tops of the feet on the floor. And then just walking your hands out all the way down, forehead to the floor. And really try to sit your hips onto your heels. Make it an active child's pose. You can come on up to your fingertips. Still trying to get your forehead to the floor. And you come back down to the palms of your hands. Just breathing. And really take a moment to come to your mat. And when you're ready, we're going to walk our hands to one side of the mat, maybe the left side first, stretching out that right side of the body. And when you do this, try to keep your right hip onto your right heel. So breathing. Just here for a moment. And when you're ready, switch back to the center of the mat. And then slowly walking your hands to the right side, really stretching out that left side body. Making sure your left hip goes down to your left heel. And breathe. Pull against that hand. And release, bringing your hands back to the center. And from here, walking your hands all the way back up until you're seated on your heels. From here, just bring your knees together. So we're sitting, really stretching out the under part or the top part of our heels. If you want, you can always roll up a towel, put it underneath your heels instead. But really stretching these out. We can just do some cactus. Inhale, look up, chest proud. And then exhale, interlace your fingers, press them away from you. Inhale, cactus your arms, chest up. Exhale, interlace your fingers, palms pressing away, round your spine. Inhale, let's do 2 more. Exhale. Inhale, chest proud. And exhale, interlace fingers, tuck your chin. And releasing it down. Beautiful. Staying on your heels here. We really want to stretch out the heels. Still doing some upper body. Let's go ahead and inhale, arms up. Exhale, right hand down. Really stretch up and over with the left side. Breathe. And release. Inhale your arms up. Right arm coming up and over. Really stretching out that right side. And release. We'll do 1 more either side. Big inhale up. Right hand drops, left hand up and over. And release 1 more time. Inhale all the way up. And left hand down, right hand up and over. Nice, really getting that side body. Beautiful. Relaxing your arms all the way down. Still sitting on your heels. Really want to stretch them out. We're going to bring our arms out to either side of us and really try to stretch your fingers away from you on either side. So imagine someone's pulling you from both ends. And then we're going to do a little bit of forearm work. So flex your hand at the wrist, fingers pointing down. And then just flip your hands, still using the flexors, fingers pointing up. And then flip, fingers pointing down using the extensors. And then rotate, fingers pointing up, still using the extensors. And flip. And rotate. And flip. And rotate. Just doing a couple on your own time. Noticing how your arms feel. And breathing. Let's do one more. Flip, rotate, flip, rotate. Beautiful. Shaking it out. And we'll untuck our feet. So bringing your hands to the ground, bringing your feet up and just doing small circles. Bringing life back into those ankles. You can maybe get some snap, crackle, and pops. And then when we're ready, we're going to tuck our toes under and just hover our knees off the ground. From here, we're going to press back and then press forward. So maybe we need to bring our arms up a little bit more into that plank, and then press back, and then press forward. Breathing, bend your knees, pressing back, hips over heels, and then forward into plank. Let's do 3 more. Back, hips over heels, and then forward into plank. 2 more. Hips over heels, and forward. 1 more. Hips over heels. This time from here, take your right leg with you to the outside of the hand. Nice. And breathe here for a second. You can rock back and forth, kind of in a high lizard. And breathing. And press back, hips over heels. Take the left leg with you this time to the outside of the hands. And rock back and forth and breathe. Beautiful. And take it back into that plank, pressing your hips over your heels and coming forward with the right leg on the outside of the hands. Wiggle back and forth and breathe. And press the ground away 1 more time on the left side into that crouch position, and then take the left leg with you on the outside of the hands and breathe. And take it back into a downward dog. So maybe bringing your hands a little bit closer, maybe pressing one heel down to the ground and then the other. Remember, it's important in downward dog to keep a straight spine. We don't want to see rounded spine, straight legs. So bend your knees if you need to. Beautiful. And drop your knees to the ground. Going into our tabletop position. We're going to go through a few classics. So tuck your tailbone under. Round your spine, tuck your chin. Inhale, anteriorly rotate your pelvis, press the ground away, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, spine, pelvis, spine, and chin, look up. Let's do 2 more of each. Exhale, pelvis, spine, chin. Inhale, pelvis, spine, chin. 1 more. Pelvis, spine, chin, like a wave. And last time. Inhale. And come back to that neutral position. Once you're here, we're going to go into another classic. Left hand, center of the mat. Right hand is going to come up to the sky with an inhale. And exhale, send the right hand through that hole, going into threading the needle. Left hand can come up overhead. And breathe. In that twist. And left hand back down by the face. Right hand with an inhale comes back up to the ceiling. And exhale it down to the ground. Switching sides, right hand in the center of the mat, left hand, big inhale all the way up. And exhale, send it through, left shoulder, left ear on the ground. Right hand can go up, overhead again. And breathe. Beautiful. Right hand comes back down by the face, presses the ground away. Left hand comes up with an inhale. And exhale back down into that plank or into that tabletop. From here, tuck your toes under again, press the ground away, press your hips back, and then going into another downward dog. And just breathe, bending one knee and then the other. You can really put a twist into it. And we're going to inhale the right leg up into a three-legged dog. And then come to your tippy toes on the left foot. Right knee bends. Try to bring your knee to your nose. And then place that foot between your hands with control. If you need, you can always pick up that foot and move it manually as well. All right, we're here. We're going to inhale up into a high lunge, pressing the ground away. And then exhale, pivot that back foot into a warrior two. And so here, make sure you can still see your big toe. So maybe that knee needs to go out and forward a little bit so you can still look at it. Really opening up the hip. Breathe here for a second. Work on strength in that leg. Get a little bit more light in here. Breathe. And from here, we're going to slowly start to straighten the front leg. And then we're going to hinge forward, reaching forward, reach with our right hand, reach. And then just windmill our arms down. And you can hold on to your leg. You can hold on to the mat. Make sure you have just a tiny micro bend in that front leg. That way you don't lock your knees out. And just breathe here. You can look up. You can look in front. You can look down. Whatever works. And when you're ready, we're going to bend into that front knee. And then bring it back up into our warrior two. Beautiful. From here, we're just going to pivot the right foot into a side skandasana on the right side. So pivot that foot, and now going into a lunge on the right side, opening up that left hip. And breathe. Just a little one. It's our first one. And back up to center. And then skandasana on the left side. Beautiful. Breathe. And we're going to windmill our arms down into a lunge position over that left foot now. So we're facing the back side of the mat. From here, we're going to do the same thing on this side. So inhale our arms up into that high lunge. And then drop that back heel, pivot down into our warrior two. So opening up the back hip. Still making sure you can see your toes, so bring that knee out and then forward. And breathe, working on strength in that front leg here. Kind of like what we did in the beginning. Imagine someone's pulling your arms away from you here. So we're actively engaging our upper body. And finally start to straighten out that front leg. Keep a little micro bend. And then reach forward, reach. And just turn your hands. Breathing in and out through the nose. Either looking up, looking in front, or looking down, whichever helps. Breathe here. Opening up those hips a little bit. And Slowly start to bend into that front knee, slowly, and bring the arms back up into our warrior two. From here, same as last time, we're just gonna pivot that left foot to face the center and then come down into our Skandasana on the left side. Breathe. Maybe a little bit further this time. And press the ground away. Now we're at the top. And then coming down to Skandasana, side lunge on the right side. Using just our legs. Try not to use your hands. And press up to the top. And down to Skandasana on the left side. Working on strengthening a little bit. And press the ground away. One more time on the right side. Going down, Skandasana. And then we're going to pivot over that right foot into that high lunge. From here, place your hands on the ground, step that foot back into a downward dog. And breathe. Pressing one heel down to the ground and the other. And this time, left leg comes up with an inhale into that three-legged dog. Coming into tippy toes on the right foot. Bend that left knee and try to bring that left knee to your nose. And place it between your hands. Beautiful. Going into that lunge. And just breathe here for a second, really allowing that right hip to open up. And we're going to drop the right knee down. Heel toe our left foot to the outside of our hands, going into a lizard. And you can either stay here or you can find your forearms down to the ground. And breathe. And you can either stay here or you can bring up that back foot. Some options. Beautiful. Just keep breathing. And when you're ready, bringing your hands back up into that high position, bringing that back knee back on the ground. And then we're going to put our weight into our right hand as we press the left knee away from us. And if you roll onto the left edge of your left foot, that's totally okay. We're just really working on opening up that hip. You can put weight into that right arm. Breathe. And releasing it back down. We're going to bring up that back leg, heel toe, your foot back in between the hands. And then from here, inhale the arms up, back into that high lunge. And then we're going straight into that Skandasana on the left side. So I'll turn so you can see me. We're in our Skandasana on the left side. Breathing here. You can come up onto your toes if you want to get a little bit lower. One day, staying on the heels. And pressing up through using those legs all the way to the top and then down on the right side. Skandasana here. You can go up on the toes. Really opening up those hips. And with control, you're going to press up to the top. Okay, so we're at the top position. Pigeon toe your feet a little bit, making sure your legs are nice and straight, and we're going to put our hands on the hips. And then lead with your chest as you hinge at the hips. We're hinging, sticking your butt out, leading with your chest to the ground. And then you can place your hands on the ground, maybe stop here. Chest is still proud. And maybe slowly starting to bend your elbows, folding a little bit more. If you can relax all the way down, you can always take the option of bringing your hands behind you, interlacing your fingers and letting your forearm or your arms drop to the floor. Whatever is accessible to you. Beautiful. Wherever you are, release your hands back to the mat in front of you. And then we're gonna walk our hands to the left foot. Turn so you can see me again. Hands are at the left foot, and then just bend into the right knee. So it feels like you're holding on to your left foot for dear life. Holding on to that left foot, just bend that right knee a little bit, really stretching out a little bit your hamstrings, your hips. And release, straighten out that leg. Walk your hands to the right side, and then bend into that left knee. Holding on for dear life. And breathe. Beautiful. And release, straightening out that leg, walking your hands back to center. And then putting one hand and the other on the hips. And then same way you went down, coming up, hinging at the hips all the way at the top. Bam! And Skandasana on that left side, going back into our lunge over that left foot. And breathe. From here, we're going to drop that back knee down. And then we're going to bring ourselves up a little bit. Ooh, maybe we need to bring our left foot forward a little bit more. We're going to stretch out the right quad. So really tuck your butt under. And then if you need to, stay here and just take that opposite arm overhead. If you feel like it's okay for your knee, then we can bring up that back leg, taking a hold and stretching out that quad. And breathe. Nice. Nice little quad stretch here. Keep breathing. A little bit of balance. Keep that butt tucked. And releasing it down. Hands on the ground. Coming up into a downward dog. And breathe. All right, we're going to do the same thing that we just did on the right side with a little bit difference in the middle. So we're going to take that right leg up, overhead, and then bend that knee, tippy toes left foot. Bring that right knee to your nose and take it in between your hands to that lunge. Beautiful. Now we're going to heel toe our right foot to the right side of the mat, bringing our hands to the center of the mat, back into that lizard. So knee is dropped, or you can take it up. You can stay high, or you can come down to the forearms. Whichever variation of lizard you like. You can sway back and forth. Keep breathing. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And when you're ready, drop that back knee down. Place weight into that left hand, and then we're going to press the right knee away from us. Again, totally fine to come up onto the edge of that right foot. Just opening up the hips. You can even look up. Breathe. And release, heel toeing that foot back to the center, framing that foot with the hands. Or tuck the toes under, bringing that knee up, and then we're inhaling the arms up into that high lunge. Beautiful. And then again, we're going to pivot into Skandasana on the right side this time. But we're going to do something a little bit different. So coming down, framing that foot with your hands, and then untuck your foot and just bring your knee, your shin onto the ground. Beautiful. Right hand comes down beside you. Left hand with an inhale swoops up, bringing your hips up to the ceiling. Bring your hips forward. Breathe. And swoop that hand back down, going into a half frog. So we're going to bring the right knee towards the front of the mat a little bit more. And then we're just going to play with rocking forward and back with that straight leg, really opening up the hips. You can do it from your forearms or the palms of your hands, doesn't matter. And press the ground away with control, bringing that knee back where it was. Beautiful. Right hand comes on the ground, and then put your weight into your right hand and your right knee. I'll move so you can see me a little bit better. Weight into that right hand and the right knee. The left foot you can bring to the inner part of your thigh, if that works for you, or you can bring across your hips, so your pinky toe, top part of your pinky toe goes into the right hip fold. And then try to allow your knee to go back. And then we're gonna inhale the arm up, looking up, working out those hip flexors. Allow your arm, your chest, your knee, everything to go to the back side of the mat. And release, grabbing that toe and releasing that leg down. Beautiful. From here, we're going to go back into our Skandasana. So leaning forward with the hands, bringing that leg back up into that side lunge with control. And then slowly shifting over to Skandasana on the left side. Breathe. And hands on the ground, bringing that left knee down to the ground, making that right leg straight. Left hand on the ground as we're gonna inhale, push our hips forward, arm comes overhead, stretching out the right side body and the hips, and just breathe. And release, bringing your hands back to the center, and then bringing that knee out, left knee out, sorry, more descriptive, left knee out, going into that half frog. Either come down to your forearms or stay up on your high hands, just rock back and forth. Whichever works for you. And breathe. Rocking forward and back. And then when you're ready, press the ground away with your hands. Core tight, press the ground away even more. Bring that knee back to where it was on the ground. And then left hand comes down, putting all your weight into your left leg and your left hand. Right leg is totally free. You can bring, again, that foot into the center of the thigh. You can bring it down by the knee, doesn't matter. Or you can take it up into that hip crease. And then allow that knee to go towards the back side of the mat as we open up our chest. Bringing your arm and your knee to the back of the mat. Opening up all your hip flexors, your side body, your chest. And releasing that hand, grabbing the big toe with your peace fingers. And then bringing it out. Bringing your hands back in front of you, and then pressing the ground away, going back into our Skandasana on the left side. Beautiful. I'm sweaty. I don't know about you guys. And then we're just going to windmill our arms into that high lunge on the left side. Breathing. And back and forth. Really allowing that hip flexor to open up a little bit more. And then Skandasana on the left side in that side lunge. Pressing up and away. We're going to end on the right side. Skandasana on the right. Hip hop. And windmill over the right leg again in that high lunge. Or that sprinter's lunge, just going back and forth and breathing. And from here, release your back knee down to the ground. We're going to do what we did a little bit earlier. Bring that right leg back just a little bit. Tuck your butt under and either stay here and take the opposite arm overhead, or we're gonna bring up that back leg if it's comfortable for that knee and stretch out that quad a little bit. And breathe. Gorgeous. Keep breathing. Chest proud, tucking your butt. And releasing that leg down with control. Placing our hands onto the ground, tucking that back toe under, and pressing up into our downward dog. We are almost there. Go ahead and make your feet as wide as the mat, and then slowly walk your hands back, sitting your butt down to the ground, and your chest comes up, ending in yogi squat. Chest proud, butt down. And then bringing your hands to the ground, bringing your hips up to the ceiling in that forward fold. You can sway to one side and then the other. Keeping a small bend in your knees, hinging at your hips. And then again, start to bring your hips down to the ground, chest up. Yogi squat. We're getting ready. And hips up, chest down. Sway side to side. And back down into yogi squat. Hips down, chest up. Beautiful. Keep breathing. And for the last time, hands on the ground, bring your hips up, chest down, and then walk your hands back out into your downward dog. From here, we're gonna, whichever way you wanna get there, we're gonna bring our feet to our hands. So you can step, you can hop, you can walk, whatever you choose. I like to walk. Bringing your feet to your hands and just staying in this forward fold here, keeping a small bend in those knees. Just breathe. And then we're gonna inhale the arms all the way up overhead, and then exhale, hands at heart center, Samasthiti. I can't see my head anymore. Hello. All right, from here we're just gonna stretch out the glutes a little bit. So we're gonna bring the right foot up, right ankle over that left thigh, and then sit back into a chair. And you can press into that knee, really still opening up the hips and getting a glute stretch. You can always hinge at your hips and start to fold forward. These are just options. Totally up to you. You either stay or go, doesn't matter. Breathe. And if you went down into that fold, you can start coming back up into that chair. And then standing all the way back up, releasing that leg with control. Same thing on the other side. Plant the right foot down, left leg comes up, left ankle over right thigh. And then inhale, sit down into that chair. And either stay here, you can press into that knee like we did on the other side. Make sure you find your dristi on the ground. And then if you did it on the other side, see if you can do it on this side. Hinging at the hips all the way down. Again, it's totally an option. You can always stay in the chair. And breathe. In and out through the nose, always. And if you went into that fold, coming back up into the chair. And all together, releasing with control. Beautiful. And shake it out. Shake, 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 senora. Okay, we're going for our stand-up challenge. If you guys didn't know, we were prepping the whole time to make our hips and our knees and our ankles ready for the stand-up challenge. So, toes together, heels together, we're standing up nice and tall, and then slowly start to sit down as much as you can. If you need to come up onto your toes a little bit, totally fine. And then just open up your knees and take a seat. Beautiful. From here, we're going to do the same thing on the way up. So you can, it's just practice at first, right? You can launch yourself forward, and if you don't come up, come back down. Launch yourself again. Maybe stand up that time. Workshop time. Our hips are open. We have strength in our legs. We're going to come back down into that seat. Knees are able to open up. And taking a seat down. And just play with it on your own. The more you get your knees wide, here I'll face you. The closer you bring your heels to your butt, the more you can the quicker you can put your weight over your base. And so as close as your heels can come to your butt, make your knees wide so you can launch through them and stand up. And make them wide as you come down and take a seat. And launch through your legs and stand up. And breathe. Just work on it on your own. Maybe you need to work on getting your heels closer. Maybe your knees wider. All the way up. And back down. Let's do 2 more if you're staying with me. We'll do 2 more. It's kind of a workout too. Breathe as we inhale, stand up. And exhale, coming back down into that seat. 1 more. Last one. All the way up. Yeah! And coming all the way back down into our seat. And from here, just let your feet touch each other. The insides of your feet touch each other. And your hips fall open. Go it into a butterfly. And you can move your hips, move your knees up and down. Flying away, somewhere magical. Somewhere tropical, warm and sunny, like Bali. I want to go back. And moving your knees. Beautiful. From here, releasing your legs out in front of you, coming all the way down to your back, and then bringing your feet onto the floor. And then we're just going to bring the right ankle over that left thigh. And then tee your arms out to the side. And then just bring that right foot to the ground. Maybe eventually one day bringing that right knee to the ground. You can look over that right hand and breathe in this twist. And coming out all the way back up. You can thread your hands through the hole. Hug that knee to your chest. Breathe. And releasing that foot down to the ground. Release the right foot. Left ankle over right thigh. Tee out your arms. And then bringing that left foot to the ground. Maybe eventually that right knee. And taking a look over the left hand. And breathing. Just breathe in and out through your nose. And slowly bringing your head back, looking at the ceiling, bringing those hips back up. And then threading your hands through that hole. And then bringing that knee to your chest. Breathe in and out through your nose. And bringing that foot down to the ground. Bringing the other foot down to the ground. And then make your feet wide, maybe the width of the mat. And then we can bring our hands out into that T. And then just drop both knees down to one side. And then the other. Switching back and forth. And breathing. one side, then the other. Same thank you to our hips. And one more on either side. And when you're ready, hug your knees into your chest nice and tight. Hug them all the way in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And keep your knees where they are, but release your hands out into that T. We're going to go into one more twist as we let both of our knees fall to the left. And then we're going to look right. And breathe. And core tight as you bring those legs up. And then drop them down to the right side, looking over the left. Trying to keep your shoulders on the ground. Really allow your rib cage to expand and contract. And bringing with your core tight, your knees back into your chest, give them a hug. And then grabbing the outside of your feet, bringing your feet up to the ceiling, ending off with our happy baby. You can sway from side to side if you like. Your hips should feel really accessible right now, so maybe try to straighten out your legs. Maybe bend them again. Straighten and bend. Whichever you choose. And then when you're ready, bringing your feet together. And then ending into Shavasana. And if this hurts your low back or your hips at all, you can always straighten out your legs into a corpse pose right here instead. Whichever you choose, just close your eyes, tuck your chin a little bit. Palms are up towards the sky, tops of your hands are melting to the ground. And just focus on your breathing. Just breathing big breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. And notice which part rises and falls. Maybe it's your chest, maybe it's your rib cage, or maybe it's your stomach. Maybe it's all three in a chain reaction. Whatever it is, just noticing where your breath goes. And then try to exaggerate your breath by making long, slow inhales, maybe even count the seconds. And then when you exhale, try to make that number match. Long, slow exhales. Let's do 5 breaths, as long and as slow as you can. And the exhales match. Four more. Beautiful. 3 more. And relax the space between your eyebrows. 2 more. Relax your jaw, your ears. 1 more. And slowly going back to your regular breath. Beautiful. Noticing with every exhale, the heavy points of your body melt deeper into the ground. Your elbows, tops of your hands, melting a little deeper. Your upper back, the back of your head, your hips, just melting into the ground. Your thighs, your ankles, just grow heavy every exhale. And just taking a moment to notice how your body feels. You can scan the body by starting with the feet and working your way up. Just bring your attention to your toes. Notice if they feel cold, warm, if you don't feel them at all. And bring your attention to your ankles, your knees, noticing if you feel any discomfort or maybe airiness, lightness, heaviness, whatever you feel. Just noticing. Bring your attention to your hips, maybe your sacrum, your low back. Not passing judgment, just noticing. And then bringing your attention to your spine, your upper back, your shoulders. Then bringing your awareness to your elbows, your hands, your fingers. Just noticing how they feel. Noticing your neck, your eyebrows, your ears. Maybe your whole body feels airy. We're going to take a big inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth 3 times. Big inhale through your nose and exhale through the mouth. 2 more. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through the mouth. 1 more. Make it the biggest one you can, releasing any excess tension. Big inhale all the way up. Exhale. Slowly start to awaken your fingers, your toes, bringing small movements, maybe circling your wrists, your ankles, maybe bringing your knees back together. Whatever feels good, just with your eyes closed, moving your body to wake it up. And then with your eyes closed, rolling over into the fetal position on one side. Stay here for a moment to take a breath. And then with your eyes closed, pressing the ground away, coming up into a comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands together in the center of your chest. And just truly thanking yourself for your body, thanking your body for being able to do this. And even if some things are difficult, knowing that when you return each time, it gets a little bit easier day by day. And I promise you, your body thanks you back. Inhale and exhale. Namaste. Yay! Thank you guys for coming as always. Getting out of a little daze. I will be saving this flow and putting it up on my YouTube if it saves correctly. And yeah, maybe you can go back to it and keep working on opening up the hips and all the mobility for the stand-up challenge. So hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Bye. Bye, you guys. Bye, Centil. Bye, Jacob. And end.